What if you could be in two places at once? Imagine having the miraculous ability to appear miles away while simultaneously being present somewhere else. Today, we'll explore an astonishing event in the life of Saint John Bosco that defies all natural explanation. The Miracles and Prophecies of Saint John Bosco, a project of America Needs Fatima. I'm your host, Adrian Fonseca. Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In today's episode, we'll witness an extraordinary manifestation of Don Bosco's supernatural gifts. His documented case of bilocation that occurred during a retreat at St. Ignatius' Retreat Center. As we explore this remarkable story, keep these key themes in mind. The reality of supernatural gifts in the lives of the saints. The deep connection between Don Bosco and his students. The way saints use their extraordinary gifts for spiritual guidance. A question to ponder. How might this miraculous event reflect Don Bosco's dedication to protecting and guiding young souls? Stay tuned until the end to discover how you can deepen your connection with this remarkable saint and his spiritual legacy. But first, let's dive into this extraordinary story. Bilocation, the ability to be in two places at the same time. With our busy schedule, some of us wish that we could bilocate. Among the most remarkable documented cases of bilocation was St. Padre Pio's appearance in the air over San Giovanni Rotunda during World War II. While southern Italy remained in Nazi hands, American bombers were given the job of attacking the city of San Giovanni Rotunda. However, when they appeared over the city and prepared to unload their munitions, a brown-robed friar appeared in the air in front of their aircraft. All attempts to release the bombs failed. In this way, Padre Pio kept his promise to the citizens of San Giovanni Rotunda, that their town would be spared from the effects of the war. Later on, when an American airbase was established at Foggia, a few miles away, one of the pilots of this incident visited the friary and found, to his surprise, the same little friar that he had seen in the air that day over San Giovanni. As to how Padre Pio, with God's help, ever came to an explanation of his bilocation, was to say that it occurred by an extension of my personality. Well, the story I have for you today of our beloved Don Bosco is not as flamboyant as that of Padre Pio, but it could be nonetheless be seen as an extension of his personality. You'll see why I say this when you hear the story. So here it goes. The following true story comes directly from the pen of Father Michael Rua, Don Bosco's second in command at the Oratory. Father Rua wrote, quote, "We could say that more than once Don Bosco was endowed with the charism of bilocation. One Sunday, during afternoon church services, two Oratory boys secretly bathed in the Dora River near the arsenal. After splashing about in shallow water, they stretched out on the sand. Suddenly, they felt a sharp slap that left a mark on their backs. The slap, coupled with the fact that nobody was around, belatedly reminded them of what had happened to three of their companions the year before in the same locality. Exclaiming, 'It must be Don Bosco!' They scrambled into their clothes and raced back to the Oratory, as though in flight. Pale with fright, they sneaked through the church doors and hid in a dormitory. Now, a few days before this, Don Bosco had left the Oratory to attend his annual retreat at the sanctuary of San Ignacio sopra Lanzo. According to Father Dolna, this note arrived the following morning from Don Bosco to Father Alasanati. Quote, "Today, Sunday, at the very moment, I see Bastia and Vizetti making off from the Oratory to go for a swim in the Dora. There they have begun some unseemly conversation. I gave them something they won't easily forget. You, Father Prefect, should call them and question them as to whether they felt or received anything while they rested on the riverbank." Holding this note, Father Alasanati went to look for the two culprits. "You didn't get away with it," he told them. "Don Bosco wrote to me about it. Did you particularly like what you got at the river?" The two boys confessed that their backs still hurt from the slap they had received the previous day. The cleric Bonetti questioned them too, and was convinced of the truth of Don Bosco's letter. The two boys also admitted the same to Peter Inare, who knew them well. Father Alasanati told Vizetti to pack up because he was being sent home. As the boy was coming down the stairs after leaving the prefect's office, he met a schoolmate, Fiotti, a close friend of his from his own district, and told him the whole story. Fiocchi asked how Don Bosco could have known about this escapade, since no one at the oratory could have possibly told him. "It's funny," Visati replied. "There was nobody around, but I received 3 blows. The third one was the worst." This story has a happy ending. Ultimately, both boys were readmitted to the oratory, and they mended their ways. As further proof of the incident of Don Bosco's bilocation, we have a testimony of another priest. Father Francis Dalmazio wrote, quote, "I witnessed this incident. I recall something else too, which corroborates it. Once Don Bosco asked a boy, 'Don't you recall being slapped by an invisible hand one day?' Quite surprisingly, the lad admitted to it. 'And what were you doing at that moment?' Don Bosco went on. The boy turned red as a beet. Don Bosco drew him aside and whispered in his ear, 'Several schoolmates of mine were with me at this time.'" End quote. As we reflect on this extraordinary manifestation of Don Bosco's supernatural gifts, we're reminded of his tireless dedication to guiding and protecting young souls. What if you could bring his protective presence into your own home? Bring Saint John Bosco's inspiration into your own home. As a monthly promoter, you'll receive beautiful images of this remarkable saint and a merry help of Christians. These pictures will be your daily reminders of Don Bosco's incredible legacy and the power of faith. Imagine waking up to his kind eyes or feeling Our Lady's protective gaze as you go about your day. These aren't just images, they're windows into the world of devotion and miracles. Ready to transform your space and your spirit? Join our monthly promoter family today and surround yourself with visual inspiration that speaks to your soul. The link is in the description box down below right now for you to sign up. The story of Don Bosco's bilocation offers us profound insights into both his supernatural gifts and his deep commitment to his mission. While physically present at St. Ignatius Retreat Center, some 43 kilometers and a 9-hour walk from Turin, Don Bosco's presence was felt in a very tangible way at the oratory. Let's reflect on several key lessons from this extraordinary event. First, like St. Padre Pio, who would come after him, Don Bosco's supernatural gifts always served a higher purpose, in this case, the moral guidance of his boys. Second, distance was no barrier to Don Bosco's vigilant care for his students. His presence, whether physical or supernatural, was always directed toward their spiritual well-being. Third, this incident reminds us that saints often receive extraordinary gifts not for their own glory, but as tools to fulfill their God-given mission. If Padre Pio described bilocation as an extension of his personality, this event indeed reveals Don Bosco's personality as a shepherd who would go to extraordinary lengths, even supernatural ones, to protect and guide his flock. What are your thoughts on this remarkable story? How do you think Don Bosco's personality was revealed through this miraculous event? Share your reflections in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your perspective. Thank you for joining me today. Saint John Bosco, pray for us. May God bless you, and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. God love you.